So how would you explain a soul would choose their parents? How does the entire journey look like when a soul comes into this life, chooses its parents? Let's begin with that.
Sure. So every soul, we all belong to soul groups. And it's those soul groups who have a similar lessons, similar wounds, similar strengths, similar weaknesses, similar purpose or similar contribution to themselves, society, community in a certain way. And based on that, we choose our parents. So the energy that goes for every soul behind choosing their parent is, are they part of the soul group? Can they support and honor my journey? So if I have to give you an example, right? If you want to make a building, so you have a plot of land and you want to make a skyscraper, would you go to someone who does farmhouses, or would you go to someone who specializes in one-story bungalows, or would you go to someone who can, construct a skyscraper?
Definitely somebody.
And vis-a-vis, if you want someone who's into, say, farming or who's into a lot of greenery, you will go to someone for that to build a farmhouse. So depending on why are you incarnating in this form? What is the environment you want? What is your financial reality you want? What is the community you want to be born in? Based on that, you will choose your parents.
Right.
Also, choosing parents a lot also goes into seeing whether the parents are ready to embrace you, embrace your strengths that you bring as a soul, embrace your weaknesses. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, for example, if I'll talk about my case because, I'm aware of why I've chosen my parents. So, very early on in life, when my master, I was all of 9, 10 years old, he took me back into my past life. And that's when, for the first time, I was made aware of my gifts, where it was brought to my notice. And I remember glimpses of him telling my mother that she's a prodigy. She's born with certain gifts. She's, honed these gifts in some past life. And this lifetime, she has to use that for the world. Maybe in some life, I've only meditated in the mountains or learned scriptures and all of that. I've not really contributed to the world with this gift.
Right.
So, for a soul like that, at the age of 9, who's born, now I have chosen a mother who's spiritual, who understands this language, who went for Reiki, who went for all these modalities, and who kind of was open to pushing her child into that.
Right.
And supporting that.
Right.
But also at the same time, I'm born into a family of a paternal energy. So my father, where he could have the financial support system for my mother to pay for these expensive classes. I mean, I remember doing Reiki level 1, level 2, level 3 in 1993, 94, 95, and Reiki was unheard of. When I was 15 years old, I still remember back in India, there was the De Silva mind control workshop happening for 3 days. And each ticket was $25,000 in 1996, 1997, 1998. And it was happening at the Taj.
Yeah.
And of course, that was a lot. And I still remember my mother wanting to go, but she pushed me. Because at that point, even $25,000 was a lot.
And how old were you then?
I was about 14, 15, and I went for it. So luckily, I had a father whose financial support system could support my gift. Now, what if I was born into a family that was an atheist, or born into a family which was super religious that didn't believe in all of this and only believed in going to the temple and doing Havan and Puja? I would not be able to, grow into my gift. So it starts from that level. It starts with, what are you going for? And also what happens is with parents, Just because we are choosing them does not mean we are not going to learn tough lessons. So while we come with a lot of lessons that have already been learnt, we also come with lessons that we need to learn
in this lifetime.
in this lifetime. And your first two teachers are your parents.
Right.
What you don't learn from parents is what everyone outside of you is going to teach you.
Right.